Okay, so this is the basic setup of the electric field mapping lab. So we're going to start with the power supply. And so the power supply separates the some electrons from the protons. So the side that gets a surplus of electrons is the negative terminal, which is usually marked in black. And then the side that loses electrons is the positive terminal. It has a net positive charge. And that's usually given by red. And these are connected to two copper coins, or 2 pennies. And so what we're going to have for this particular example is a dipole. You have a positive terminal, so a positive point source, and a negative point source. And so we're going to map, we're not going to map the electric field lines directly, but what we're going to map are called the equipotentials, or lines of constant potential. And another word for potential is voltage. And so here's how we're going to do this. First, we're going to...
It's red again?
Yes, I'm going to... You can help me a little bit with this. So we're going to set up...
I'm a little wet, though.
Okay, so dry off and come back. And so we're going to set up, what we have here is a voltmeter. Yes.
Let me just go dry off outside a little bit, and then
go ahead.
Assist you.
And so...
Assist you in your crying or whatever.
This measures voltage, and the multimeter can measure a couple of different things. So right now it's set to measure voltage, which is V. It can also measure current in amperes, which is A. And it can measure capacitance in farads, and also resistance in ohms. Right now we've got it set to V, so we're measuring voltage, and we've got it on a 20-volt scale. So what we're going to do is adjust the power supply until we get a potential difference of 10 volts across the 2 pennies. So we can look here, you see I'm adjusting the knob, and you can see the potential is going up. So we want to set up a 10-volt difference. And get it as close as you can. It doesn't have to be precise. I mean, there's no point in trying to get it any closer than that. So what you want to do, what you'll notice is that the pennies are set on what's called conducting paper. That a current actually goes through the conducting paper, so it has some resistance. So if you start here, you should get a voltage close to 10, and as you bring that red lead back down to the power supply, you should get something that's closer to 0. So let's adjust this. Okay, so that looks fine. And okay, so it looks like we can't get 8 volts with this. So what we're going to try to do is get 7 volts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this until I get a point that reads 7 volts. All right, let's see if I can adjust that better. Okay. So it needed to be tightened down a little bit. So we're going to move this until I reach a point where I get, so now we can get 8 volts. And again, it doesn't have to be precise, but what you're going to do, what I'm going to do is mark that point with a piece of chalk. So you see I've marked it, and so now I'm going to find another point that reads 8 volts.